Welcome to the June 30th, 2020 Board of Commissioners Special Meeting, Budget Meeting. Please silence your cell phones, pagers, and other electronic communication devices. Agendas are located at the back of the chambers. First, we'll have a moment of silent reflection, and then a pledge of allegiance led by Commissioner Gary Drews.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we'll have the review and approval of the agenda.
So move.
Moved by Drews,
Second?
second by DeSanto. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. First, we'll have the FY2021 Pennington County Provisional Budget. And first, we'll have an update from Ms. Mulner, our auditor.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Cindy Moeller, Pennington County Auditor. I did apply all the changes that were discussed throughout the budget hearing so far, and I prepared a memo for you just showing where we would be sitting as far as levies and reserves. As I said, in calculating the reserves, I did not, or I included the $200,000 for the fire and the bus, because we know that will not be spent in 2021. And that would leave us with a 19.5% reserve going that way. And that's using just the current year growth and current year CPI in the general fund. Same in the fire fund, in the library, as we discussed, we were using the stored CPI so that we could use less of the opt-out. And then we'd use the stored CPI in unorganized road.
Thank you, Ms. Cindy. Any questions, board?
None here.
No questions? You did good.
Questions?
Okay. And let's see, any and all items related to preparation of budget. Questions?
Nope.
Gary?
And
Lloyd?
I thought it was, Madam Chair,
Yes.
I thought it was interesting that that Cindy pointed out at the bottom of that sheet that even though the levy using the stored CPI is an increase over last year's levy, it's still $11.20 per 100,000 less than it was 5 years ago. That's good news.
Very
That's good news.
That's what happens when you have a good team of people and department heads and commissioners and office managers and auditors that work together. We appreciate all your help. Everyone that's helped make this budget what it is today, and we couldn't do it without you. So we appreciate everybody's hard work. Next, we'll have proposed provisional budget adoption July 21st commission meeting.
That's just to let the board know that's when it'll be scheduled, is the July 21st meeting
Okay,
for provisional adoption.
thank you.
The requirement is by the end of the month, is that what it is?
It's between the 15th and the 30th days of July in
Okay.
each year.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions on that?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. Let's see, request for approval of 3 FTDs, Treasurer's Office. Ms. Janet?
Janet Saylor, Treasurer. As the board is aware, we've been working on trying to get more people into the office so that we could set up a phone center and have people strictly answering the phone in a different area of the treasurer's office. Holly and I have been working on that. We've made some decisions as far as a phone system. We're ready to maybe put that phone system that we were looking at on hold because we're thinking that the system that we have right now, with some time, and we can make it do the same thing that an $18,000 system is going to do. So we would request that the commissioners allow us to take some steps back and give us some time, because the systems that we were going to look at, we haven't been able to get in and talk to anybody about that. And to go spend $18,000 on a system that we really haven't had time to research, we think would be a waste of taxpayers' money. So that would be our request, that right now, we think we can make the phone system do everything we want it to do. It has the software abilities there to do some of that stuff. We just have to do more research on it.
So, Ms. Janet, you have, what was the total, 60-some thousand for the 3 FTEs? Can you tell-
62,895,
Okay, and then
and then
the overtime, is that for what you've been using up to June 30th, 2020? You
for the
mean
last
that?
5 months, it's $45,000 worth of overtime. That's correct.
That's all of 2020.
Oh, that, I thought,
Projected all of.
oh, I thought we got the,
No,
I'm sorry, I thought we got the figures from Casey last night at the last minute. I'm sorry.
you did, but she projected it out through the end of the year,
Okay,
so.
sorry.
That's okay. I just saw that last night and I couldn't understand where the overtime, if it was up till now or till the end of 2020, so that was clarified.
So
Any
that
questions?
is
Madam Chair?
what she got, and,
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Janet.
Commissioner DeSanto.
Finish. Okay, well, I just wanted to thank Janet for her prudency in, with the phone system and not jumping on it when she doesn't feel whether, that she's examined it carefully enough. And I also wanted to find out, the FTEs, are they going to be permanent, or are they just for dealing with this COVID situation?
They're going to be permanent with the number of phone calls that are coming in on a daily basis. The staff that we have right now can't handle them.
And this was occurring prior COVID
Yes.
also? Okay.
Yes, we have figures and everything on that.
Okay.
We think that's part of the problem with the phone system right now, is even if we spend $18,000 for a phone system, if we don't have the staff to handle it, we're wasting money.
I kind of thought those two things were going hand in hand, but now I understand it.
So
Okay.
Commissioner DeSanto, we did budget in 2021, 300,000 towards the next step,
Right.
just
Yep.
so you,
I am aware of
Madam
that.
Chair.
Commissioner LaCroy.
First, Jenna, I want to thank you and your crew for working as hard as you have. I know that phone system's been a heavy hitter for quite a while, and that the increase we had with this COVID kind of put it over the top and brought it to our attention that we need to do something soon. So I appreciate that. And I just say, some of the phone calls that I've got, I've expressed how hard you guys are working to get things done and get things caught up. And once I explain to them what's happening, they appreciate the hard work that you do, same as I do. So I think this is a necessary step that we need to move forward with. And I think a lot of people just don't realize how much the phones, incoming calls we get. And I try to express that to the people that I talk to.
And thank you, and I will pass that on to my staff. Without them and all the time that they have given up on their weekends and coming in at 6 o'clock in the morning, we wouldn't be where we are today. So
You
they
guys have been
deserve a lot
working
of
very
credit.
hard, Janet.
Thank you.
And Holly and Joan and people that have been helping them out on weekends by providing some food and different things for your staff and you. We appreciate that too, because Joan and Holly seem to come through it many times when we need them to help out. So we appreciate you two as well, working with Janet. So
Madam Chair,
Commissioner LaCroy.
I'd move to allow the treasurer's office to advertise to hire 3 full-time equivalent FTE tax and title assistants effective immediately.
Moved by LaCroy.
Second.
Second by Ross Connect. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you,
Ms.
Janet, for all that you and your employees do.
Thank you. And we will have a better idea of what it's going to cost us for the equipment and stuff. We're still working on that. We're waiting for a bid for some IT stuff from the state. So we're working with Lori on that, and as soon as we get those figures together, we'll let you know.
Very good.
And we
Thanks,
forgot
Janet.
about thanking Mike Cool and his team because we put another task on him and he just loves that when we give him lots of tasks. thank you, Mike, for your team as well, because we couldn't do it without you, because we kind of put some of that stuff on you quicker than you think. So we appreciate you and your staff as well. Next is items from Health and Human Services. Request to apply for Emergency Solutions Grant. What's your name, sir?
Good afternoon, Barry Tice, the Director of Pennington County Health and Human Services. Back in March, Volunteers of America, we had worked with them and some other organizations on submitting what we would call a community application. So Volunteers of America took the lead on that for this Emergency Solutions grant funding, and this was early on in COVID. And when I say March, it was towards the end of March. And so there was kind of a plan, then there were some delays in the funding being released from the federal level down to the state, and then the state to Volunteers of America. So last week we were notified that the funding has been released, and it's right around $600,000 for Volunteers of America to distribute to various agencies based on the RFP they put out. Within that grant, there's an opportunity for us to access rent assistance. They call it homeless prevention and rapid rehousing dollars. It's the same type of dollars we've used through CDBG dollars. We have a system in place with Cindy and her crew in the auditor's office, and so we'd follow the same type of protocol. It's a little simpler for us because we're sub-grantees or sub-recipients, so Volunteers of America has to do the majority of the legwork on that. We would still provide the first point of entry for people to access that funding, and then we could refer them on to the other agencies as well. But it's it would be a good addition to the funding we have when we use Vakurovich Foundation dollars, Black Hills Area Community Foundation, county dollars. It sounds like it's a really quick turnaround time. That's why I'm standing here today, because it's due on Monday. And they're estimating by the end of next week, they could have their decisions made. It's based on Volunteers of America and South Dakota Housing. So I guess my request is for approval to apply as a subrecipient of this funding. And I have $250,000 in here. We have a very rough draft that's sitting on my desktop now. And we'll be close to that $250,000 when you include the request for utilities, as well as housing dollars, rent dollars.
Thank you, Barry. Questions or motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Drews.
I'd make a motion to allow Health and Human Services to make application.
Second.
Motion by Drews, second by LaCroy. Questions? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks, Barry.
Thank you.
Barry.
Thank you, Barry.
Anything else the staff or anybody wants to talk about? You miss anything,
Madam Chair.
Commissioner DeSanto?
I'd just like to thank all of the department heads and Holly and Joan and everybody, Cindy, for getting together and making sure that this last 10% cut we asked for happened. I know that some departments are benefiting from other departments giving things up, and I just think that you guys have done a fantastic job helping out in this situation, and hopefully we'll get through the year, and next year will look a lot better, or maybe we won't even have our fears realized in October that we were planning ahead for, but I think it was very important to plan ahead. So thank you, all of you.
Just a question, Cindy. Do you work with the state to see on the COVID how we work those creative ways of getting dollars back to the county?
I don't like that creative ways of getting dollars back.
Well, that's what the governor said, so.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Dustin is the expert on these types of
Okay.
grant, and so I'll be working not only with the state but real closely with Dustin so that I can follow some of his policies, procedures that he already uses in order to track some of this stuff and make sure that we get that paperwork submitted correctly.
And then kind of show the staff of what kind of things they can submit. I know our fire department and our first responders, they'll be a little bit easier to,
Yeah, some of those
dollars in a
expenditures are
sense,
easy,
and then
yeah.
I think Mr. Cole, his department, he's changed up a lot of different things in Pennington County with the screening and everything else, or I call them screening.
And those departments
yeah.
that purchased equipment to allow people to work from home,
Yep.
some of that stuff, I'm sure that we'll be able to submit also in the request for reimbursement.
Nice. Thank you, Miss Cindy, for all your work on this budget again.
I got a question, Madam Chair.
Commissioner LaCroy.
Thanks for asking that question because, a lot of people heard automatically that the city and the county are getting X about millions of dollars, and it has to be related. It's not for making up the income that was lost or revenue, I should say, not income, the revenue that was lost or anything. It has to do specifically with the COVID, and I think Dustin and our emergency management have done a good job of keeping track of that type of stuff. But what happens, maybe we need to have a little informational meeting on how that stuff can be used, what for, because I really haven't gone through it to be able to understand.
There's a lot of
Is there,
stuff that we're gonna need
well, when you
to,
master it, could you
to go
inform
through
us?
and, well, I'll summarize it the best I can, because I'm
Okay.
sure there's gonna be a lot of different things that we're
Yeah.
gonna need to be looking at.
I'm sure, because, one of my thoughts was, I thought with the treasurer's office that we,
Might want to say something.
the effect on that and some of the stuff we had to do on that it might be able to cover some of that, but I'm not sure.
I haven't read through all of it either, so yes, I'll be working with the state so that I know what we can
Okay,
glean together for reimbursement costs, yes.
okay. Thanks, Cindy.
Sorry, we were just looking at our next meeting. So any other, we have a motion to adjourn
Move to adjourn.
by DeSanto,
Second?
second by Ross Connect. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. All Cindy.